Joining me now to discuss is Jessie Jane Duff. She is on the advisory board of Women for Trump, and she's a retired U.S. Marine Corps gunnery sergeant. Jessie, good to have you back on the show with us.
Thank you.
So, Jessie, the United States is in a difficult position here. It's a NATO ally of Turkey, but it's also a supporter of the YPG Kurds because they've been a frontline partner against Islamic State. So how do you think the U.S. should be handling this?
Well, first, I want to say that I congratulate the United States in protecting the YPG because they were a huge force that helped us make ISIS obsolete, essentially. They attacked and they put their lives on the line along with our forces. So that is an incredible measure for us to realize that we have to create a buffer zone for them. So apparently what the United States is doing with Turkey is creating a buffer zone for the YPG, although it is really under great dispute on how wide, how large, and who should monitor it. We do know that Turkey can be very aggressive against the YPG, but this buffer zone will also be able to get rid of these, well, not get rid of, but to have the 3.6 million refugees that are in Turkey, allow them to go back to Syria without threat towards themselves. So this is just not for the YPG, of course. This is also to ensure that those refugees are given safe haven in Syria.
So, Jessie, as you mentioned, there's been some controversy whether the U.S. has been sufficiently supportive of its Kurdish allies. Do you think that this move does indeed sufficiently protect them, given what they have sacrificed in the fight against ISIS?
I'm very optimistic that it is. I mean, essentially, when it first was said that we were going to withdraw out of Syria, we weren't sure that they would, but we do see that the Americans are ensuring that there will be a buffer zone for YPG.
Yeah. All right. Well, this all comes, as we know, as the Turkey-U.S. relationship is very strained. Washington and Ankara have grown increasingly estranged over a number of issues, including Turkey's decision to buy a Russian-made S-400 missile defense system that cost it the F-35 fighter jet program from the U.S. Do you think, Jessie, that the U.S. should be reevaluating its relationship with Turkey entirely?
I think we have been. It's quite obvious when we canceled the F-35 that we've already reevaluated our relationship with them. They can't have their hand in with our non-allies, our non-NATO allies, and then turning around and trying to comply with us. They have to make a decision. Are they going to be a peaceful partner of the United States, or are they going to be an aggressive a non-ally in the NATO forces? And that's just not reasonable to be a member of NATO and not work as a united front. So I think the United States has reevaluated this over some period of time. We've demonstrated this now by going back to the table with Turkey and ensuring that we have a place for the YPG to ensure that they're safe. They've agreed with us on that. Now it's just a matter of who's going to be in control of that area, how much of a buffer zone are they going to have, because keep in mind, Idlib is getting attacked day after day by those Syrian forces, and there is no invested interest by Turkey to look after the YPG.
Right, and as you said, what has been agreed to is that buffer zone, but as you mentioned, no agreement of how wide, how extensive this buffer zone would be, so a lot for the U.S. and Turkey to still work out. Jessie, thanks so much as always. Jessie Jane Duff, appreciate it.